Hello. I'm going to be doing a poetry reading tonight. Uh, so, here we go. First poem is called Yellow Moon Jello. Sorry is a good way to start this conversation because I'm sure I did something wrong. I liked playing like a prayer on the jukebox to watch them sway and carve their names in the bar until they realized it just became Sunday. Then I'd sneak out through the NFL poster doors into the town I remember, living in the new. Mirror skies Saturday night, I'm gone in the car lights, and the things I understand that I just realized I overheard. Please don't kiss the lipstick off. I wish I knew how to get out of this house. I wish I had a top of the Ferris wheel breath. They used to tell me stories for free, and I listened too hard. They wanted to cradle me with thorny hands, and I was using the dark under the floorboards to try to get to a garter belt. I think we still spin on those same stools. They wanted to buy me heaven. I wanted to give them a ride home. Little candle, gold earring, toast to the drinks we already shared. I'm dreaming that I'm living. The first one is always a pain because I'm nervous, but let's not think about that. Let's sit here and tell everybody how nervous you are to be doing this, Dan. Then they can all think, he's so full of himself. To be that nervous? I just like to do a good job. All right. Here we go. This poem is called I Knew I Was Dead When I Couldn't Tell Which One Was Sarah's House. I knew I was dead when I couldn't tell which one was Sarah's house. She was roses on the domesticities filing for divorce, coming up the courtroom steps like a fallen sovereign leader and her 3 little kids. Where'd you go, Sarah? I didn't have an ointment to give you. I sat beneath your ceiling, and I knew I couldn't fix the leak coming down to your carpet. Here I am on the outskirts of town. I'll hire you to give me the regrets I needed. Lay at my feet, though you have walked away. Your face is too cold to find a fire. I am a lost beginning. Don't tell me you can't see this night. Droplets of a day ended. Hanging up in the stars as memories. Looking like condensation on the window, like a good ghost should. I don't want to cut your smile. Do you want a piece of what you couldn't give me? Do you want a slice of my presence in front of you? All the tears pouring out from my stomach. I'm giving life to the love you lost. Let's see here. That's good. My wife just told me the tip jar works. Now you can all call me a big sellout. What a sellout. Tip jar? Facebook's supposed to be free, man. All right. This poem's called Robert Frost Chinos. I've got my Robert Frost pants on, old, gold, wrinkled, and smooth to the skin, good enough for sleeping in. Coincidentally, just like him, a stoop-sitting, instinct pigeon with slacks bunching up a photograph like work starting to go thin. A poet's clothes are bought for another plan. I imagine his were for a farmhand, and mine to make my parents understand. Somewhere when the khakis brushed against the only hole in an empty tree, a poet went in them walking. The olive cotton tan pant legs were bark scraping with strange lines like wrinkles of the tree rings circling the ages. see. I'm going to do like 5 poems. These are all from like a little series I'm doing about living in where you're seeing right now, an apartment. I'm going to do like a couple of these. This is from something I'm working on that I hope kind of reflects what it's like to live in where I am. So this first one is called Accidental Phone Pick at Shady Meadowbrook Apartments. It's easy to spot the drug dealers coming in because 5 minutes later they're on their way out. Their cars are half luxury, half sports, and they disappear into and emerge from them on their phones. That's me in the empty parking space next to one of their cars, with ass high up in the air, picking my own phone off the ground as it takes a picture. The lining on Mr. Chapman's blue Upper Valley Cab Company jacket looks like the interior of his car, and he is driving it 2 buildings over to pick up Mrs. Plarse for her dialysis ride. She hates him because he plays Motown mornings on Oldies WLLZ, and he hates her because he has to fold up her walker and put it in his trunk. Passing him the other way is the ever-constant parking lot presence of Mel and Mike, the maintenance men, in their white pickup. They look like they are involved in a permanent dispute over who is Batman and who is Robin. Ashish, the little Indian boy with the Pokemon backpack, has pulled the fire alarm 4 times since October. You can tell there's some adult presence in his life, though, that's trying. He's explaining to the other kids at the bus stop that sexting is finding out if you're talking to a boy or a girl. Stacy, the 20-something from the office, just dropped a folder across the black toes of her business heels. She's bending over to get it and saying soon we'll be putting in new laundry rooms to a man wearing an old Florida Marlins baseball hat. She said the same thing to me when I was moving in. And here's another poem from Apartmentalized. It's called When They Come, They'll Come with Key Fobs. Calves and pantyhose walking up the steps, half glaring at me for sitting on my deck at 2:17 in the afternoon on a weekday for all the civilized suburban Pennsylvania world to see. Shiny white Hondas and $90 haircuts, wondering why there was a mattress in front of the dumpster and which resident could be the bedbug eviction they're looking for. Big-fingered, over-manicured foxes coming in for the sheep in secret, but sticking out like a sore pair of sunglasses. April's rent. I don't want to pay April's rent. I just got an email and they never send them that said, hey, don't forget to pay April's rent. I was going to pay the rent like I always do, but now since they sent me that, I don't want to pay April's rent. Thank you to the people who are watching. Sitting on my couch in a jacket in the heat of this apartment. Should have taken my jacket off before I came in, but that would require thinking. Finding all bright sides. This one is not part of Apartmentalized. It's just a poem. I don't know what I'm going to do with this one, but it's called Finding All Bright Sides. I could watch the wooden earth rot in the rain, but I'd rather kiss it on its cheek. I want to taste your watermelon flesh rather than spitting out seeds. The morning is bright and warm on my sheets, and I want to wake up. It's hard to read these things off your phone. When I do them when I do them in public, I like to have a piece of paper in front of me. I'm doing this off my phone, but call this insecurities and call this poetry reading insecurities and and nothing. Insecurities and phone garbage. Insecurities and phone garbage. Blush. This poem is called Blush. I wonder if she knew that even the breakouts of acne on her face she tried to hide with her makeup made her look attractive. This next one is called Firewalker. Why do you come to me with everything I want with your body? Why do you come with your back pockets and light blue jeans? So right, with your bright red smile, islands of white teeth under strands of blonde hair sun, eyelashes so happy, and eyes like reflective waters, still in their ecstasy. I visited you so often in my memory. Why do you come to me on this night, sticky with vacancy, pressing down with confusion, like light falling, as what should be? Why do you come to me now, when I am here with another? This poem is called Saying Goodbye to Diamonds. 7 gold and silver pink lipstick cases and no emotion. I don't know what I'm doing here, and I'm not sure if I have to figure it out. I don't at all, and for that I'm finally happy. Your cold brown bangs above dark oval sunglasses, asking if I need another drink or just the ceremony of hot tub bubbles. I'll never stop going to hotels. Girls like you lose their room keys in my bed, and I hand them clean towels when they get out of the shower. Old links on my gold bracelet long after they've left. Old moons passed away. I met a woman like you last night on the yellow and green couch in the lobby. We fell in love because we couldn't believe how ugly the colors were. We had cigarettes and talked about the velvet underground and the pictures on our phones. We kissed on the neck and hoped we'd never see each other again. So, it's the middle of January, and here we are. And it's always good to read poems. Even if I'm nervous, it's good to read poems. This poem is called Date Night at Sands Casino. A lady at the table across from us asked if she could buy a cigarette. I said, you can just have one. When I handed it to her, she didn't notice that she had given me the rest of her night. When I showed it to my wife, she wanted to make sure we got out of the car quickly. We locked all of the self-assuredness in the trunk under my jacket. We pocketed her high regard and stuffed her overall sense of self in the glove compartment. I put her moxie on my wife's finger. We snorted the joy, smoked up the girls' night out giggles, inhaled the false sense of security and free-based privilege. We licked the attractive white female contentment off of each other and chased it with her beer buzz. Then we dumped everything sacred on a ladies' room floor and went running back into the penny slot machines with her luck. How's everybody's night going? Good? I hope it's going good. I'm just trying to read some poems and do what I gotta do. Your fingernails. I have better things to do than sit here and think about your fingernails, but I'm not going to do them. I've never seen any better than yours. They scratched my afternoon off like it was an old scab. They exist on the other side of feeling. I would lick them if they were not so much like 10 messiahs on your fingers. If I could move my tongue, and if they weren't such an untouchable natural wonder, attached to what holds my love and my evil. Lots of people get in your mind when you're reading poems. You write them for one person, and then you read them to somebody else. Here's one. I always like reading this one. It's called Fran and Edna. Good old Fran and Edna. It's raining, so everybody went inside their houses to mope, except for the old lesbian couple. They're both in their late 60s, and they've been a couple for 500 years. They say they gave up on men because men don't care about anything. They were married in a secret ceremony in the basement of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. They laugh and say they are renowned for being the first lesbian couple to buy property together in Brussels. They live in the States now, and their house looks like granola trail mix and old Sarah McLachlan cassette tapes. They're going into town because it's Saturday, and that's their big day to spend a crap load of money. They invited me to go, which I take them up on, because they are the only people in town that have a beat in the soles of their shoes. They say they want to buy me something made of gold, closing the car door and not giving me a chance to refuse, smiling as they step through the puddles. Here's a new one. It's called Buoy in 4C. Actually, I'm not. I'll do that one. Buoy in 4C. This is another one from Apartmentalized. It's a newer poem. Buoy in 4C. Burnout fleabag poems and straw-hatted pot-smoking wallet checking. Ugly old ex-rich kid memories, poverty piss apartments, dumb dumpings and hypocritical ashtray parking lots, listening to country bear jamborees on YouTube, boring before easy sleep, blood lung, God made everyone, everyone has the touch of God, screech balloon, my jeans are smoky and blue chestnut tree brown, squirrel nest mud, the unsung beauty in my leg for perfect days of tears. You didn't know we were in clouds till they descended. The only exit I can take. Been winding the fire stairs and Shakespearean dumb kitchen living room dressing rooms. Tony Bennett Rosehead, and I sound like champagne, but I look like the sludge grudge driveway. Sweet 2009 Chevy Flybirds. Suck the watermelon juice of the pink in your eye. I thought I held light in. 20 years and brown curls, I want to hold my little tree up to the moon to butter its leaves and bake mud like inside Indian tents, warm corner canvas, all night to sleep there. Pink purple iPhone teleprompter, dancing girls, Christmas, mint, dryer melt. Nobody saw me but the truth. Cardinals on the bird feeder and the gray and red seeds, the little soft white of their breasts. The seeds of my wings growing. Useless thoughts, new year. What a distinguished mess. Is my tan still dark? Here's one, it's about broken families. It's called They Came Home. It's a short one. They came home. I walked out into the hall to where my family and I were laying on the couch, and I didn't disturb us because we were together. This poem is called Jeannette Before Sunrise. Jeannette before sunrise, English muffins and butter. My life across her little robin's head face and the wind on the deck. Her open bathrobe belt dangling. When ends meet. I was broke with a nasty smile, and I wanted to rip off the kneecaps of a guy who looked like the human resources adjuster had just given him a raise. But the music turned sad, and all I had was the white paint chipping from the picnic table and the shadow of my bent head that I promised I wouldn't forget at 11:11 when the money finally came in. Now I'm going to do one last one. The last one is, this is called If Tracy Chapman Was My Aunt. If Tracy Chapman was my aunt. After my parents' divorce, 9 years old, driving in a fast car with my mom, listening to the radio, black nights and streetlights, leaving another strange family's house. Mom doesn't smile in the rearview mirror anymore when she fixes her hair, and we like sharing boxes of Cheez-Its, and her boyfriends don't rub witch hazel on her, but I do it. And I wish Tracy Chapman was my aunt, and we were going to her house. Her smile would be so white when she met us at the door. And she could talk with my mom about all-natural bubble baths, fruit smoothies at the mall, outfits at the Limited, Diet Coke, and how men had done them wrong. And her house would smell like rainwater incense, and she'd make us the best banana splits with exotic walnuts on top. And at the end of the night, Tracy Chapman would say, "So, nephew Danny, it sounds like you've been doing a good job taking care of your mom," and lead me up the stairs to put all of my tears in her guitar case. All right, that's it for me for tonight. Good night.